Mercedes is preparing a GLS 1000 to dominate the luxury SUV world. BMW is pushing toward the X10M SUV, thinking adding M will make them more money. Range Rover is perfecting the long-body SV. Toyota is turning the Land Cruiser into a century-level flagship that was cool. And Cadillac is bringing back the Eldorado name as its most luxurious SUV ever. But while every giant was fighting for attention, Lexus stayed silent, pretending to be the good brand. By the way, they are good. No loud, no desperate move, no need to prove anything. But they have to prove. Lexus was watching all of them while sleeping, and now it has answered with something darker, richer, and more dangerous than anyone expected. The 2026-27 Lexus LX 900. It looks like Cadillac and GLS had a baby, huh? You are watching Classic Car Secrets, the place where new car reveals, luxury SUV breakdowns, and first look reviews are made simple, sharp, and easy to enjoy. We go past the badge, past the hype, and straight into what makes a vehicle worth talking about. The design, the power, the luxury, and the reason it could shake the entire market. And that is what makes the LX 900 risky. Not risky, but flop. The Lexus LX was never respected because it chased trends. People trusted it because it was capable, reliable, strong on resale value, and built to last when other luxury SUVs started creating problems. Like if an old man wants to save money without being roadside drunk, they buy this like me, but never want to drive it. Good news, it is not that much expensive, but not that much cheap, that people like me buy it without getting into trouble. That question is exactly why this SUV matters. I was asking it since start, like why it matters, but before we decide if Lexus improved the LX or pushed it too far, look at the front first. Just look. What you saw, a big grille. This is where the LX 900 has to prove itself. I have to admit it that it looks very impressive and beautiful. The older LXX already had a bold face, but this one feels bigger, wider, and more expensive. The grille is still pure Lexus, but now it looks deeper and darker, almost like Lexus wanted the front to feel more powerful without making it look inexpensive. The chrome around the grille stretches the face wider, and the black finish makes it feel more serious than the previous LX. The headlights also look larger and sharper than before. On older LX models, the lights looked premium, but still safe. Here they feel more confident. That L-shaped Lexus design is still there, but now it looks wider, cleaner, and more modern. But this is where the risk starts. Luxury SUVs are changing fast. Mercedes-Maybach is pushing special details like fingerprint-style luxury door handles. BMW is playing with gesture-based doors and futuristic entry systems. Range Rover is keeping everything clean and hidden. Cadillac is going bigger, louder, and more dramatic. So the question is simple: did Lexus do enough? Because a bigger grille and sharper headlights are not enough anymore. The LX 900 needs to feel smarter, richer, and more advanced from every detail. The mirrors, wheels, chrome lines, door handles, lighting, and even the lower bumper have to tell buyers this is not just an LX 600 with a new name, although it is. And from the front, Lexus is close, very close. It still feels reliable and serious, but now it also feels more expensive and more aggressive. But not reliable, but the front is only the first biusos test. Now the part 1 hide is rear. It's Buckley, but for me, take my money, because the real problem with many luxury SUVs starts at the back. Some look powerful from the front, but from the rear, they become plain, heavy, or unfinished. So now the question is, did Lexus continue this flagship feeling at the rear, or did the LX 900 lose its impact when you walk around it? Now moving to the rear, this is where the LX 900 becomes more debatable. Like the looks bulky and it is attractive, but the front is dangerous like my ex. From the back it still looks big, wide, and premium, but it does not hit with the same force as the front. The taillights are sharp, and they help the SUV look wider. But the design is not as clean as it could be. Some viewers may like the aggressive shape, while others may feel Lexus made the rear a little too busy. The tailgate is another area where Lexus has to prove itself. And in this class, a simple power tailgate is not special anymore. Mercedes-Maybach gives us more to boss. Buyers a more luxury entry experience. BMW is moving toward gesture-based convenience, and Range Rover keeps everything smooth and hidden. So the LX 900 needs a quiet hands-free tailgate, soft opening, smooth closing, and a premium feel every time it is used. But the lower bumper is where the rear starts to lose some elegance. The diffuser area looks heavy, and it does not feel as clean as the rest of the SUV. It gives the back a sportier look, but on a luxury Lexus, that sporty touch may not convince everyone. Compared to Cadillac, this rear does not create the same instant drama. Cadillac knows how to make the back of an SUV look bold from far away. Lexus is more controlled here, and that can either feel mature or a little too safe, depending on what the buyer wants. Still, the rear is not bad. It is strong, wide, and premium enough for a mid-range luxury flagship. And that brings us to the part Lexus cannot afford to get wrong, the interior. Because if the exterior gives us mixed feelings, the cabin has to prove that the LX 900 is more than just a darker, bigger-looking LX. And now we move inside, because this is where Lexus had the biggest pressure. The LX was always respected for strength, reliability, capability, and resale value. But when buyers compare it with Range Rover, Mercedes-Maybach GLS, Cadillac, Escalade, and BMW X7, the question was always the same. Does the Lexus interior feel special enough? With the LX 900, Lexus finally seems to answer that question. The front cabin looks much more modern and premium than the older LX. The wide dashboard screen instantly changes the feeling of the interior. It no longer looks like a traditional luxury SUV with a few updates. It feels more like a proper flagship command center. The black leather, quilted stitching, polished trim, and blue ambient lighting make the cabin feel darker, richer, and more expensive. The steering wheel still keeps that serious Lexus feeling, but the dashboard, center console, and door panels now look more connected. Everything feels cleaner, wider, and more luxury-focused. Lexus did not go too crazy with the design, and that is good, because LX buyers still want comfort and ease, not a confusing cabin full of gimmicks. But the rear cabin is where the LX 900 becomes more important. The second row looks like the place where Lexus really wants to challenge the big luxury SUVs. The captain seats look wide, soft, and comfortable, with quilted leather and a proper executive layout. The center console, rear screens, cup holders, ambient lighting, and panoramic roof all help the cabin feel more private and expensive. This is the kind of rear seat experience Lexus needed. Not just family comfort, but VIP comfort. The kind of interior where the owner may not always want to drive, and that changes the whole story of the LX 900. It is no longer just a capable luxury SUV with strong resale value. Now it is trying to become a real executive SUV. But the question still remains, is this interior enough to beat Range Rover and Mercedes-Maybach, or is Lexus only catching up to what they already offer? Now let us talk about the fuel average, because this could be one of the biggest surprises of the LX 900, but Lexus could change that with a strong hybrid system. The predicted fuel average is around 23.5 kilometers per liter, and for an SUV this size, that is seriously impressive. How is it possible? The engine does not work alone. The electric motors help move the SUV, especially in traffic, low speeds, and smooth cruising. And when the SUV slows down or brakes, the system can recover energy from the wheels and turn it back into electricity. So the LX 900 uses fuel, but at the same time it reuses energy that normally gets wasted. That is how Lexus can deliver smoother power, lower fuel use, and an amazing fuel average for such a big luxury SUV. So now I want to know your opinion. Do you think the 2026-27 Lexus LX 900 is the perfect step forward for Lexus, or do you think Lexus is moving too far away from what made the LX special in the first place? Would you choose this over a Range Rover, Mercedes-Maybach GLS, Cadillac Escalade, or BMW X7? Comment down below, because I really want to know what you think about this Lexus.